Thank you. Thank you all of you for being here today. And a huge thank you to the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, not just for today, but for all the days that they're campaigning for peace and for justice for the Palestinian people. Thank you, PSC. Thank you. Today we're commemorating the 75th anniversary of the Nakba. The Nakba, when 750,000 Palestinian people were driven from their homes, their towns and villages destroyed, and forced to live in exile or in refugee camps. There are people who were forced into refugee camps in Lebanon, in Jordan, in Syria, and other places around the world before even I was born. Their families still live in those camps. The total population of Palestine is one figure, but only half of that figure actually live in Palestine. The rest are in refugee camps or in exile all around the world. More than 5 million Palestinians living in exile around the world. And having visited those refugee camps, you come away with two impressions. One is the horror and the sadness of being stuck in a refugee camp for your whole life. And the second is that indomitable spirit of hope and determination of Palestinian people, particularly the young Palestinians. Not many years ago, I was in Jordan and visited the camps in Jordan. And I spent a whole afternoon talking to and listening to the school council of the secondary school for the Palestinian young people. The spending on that school was less than half the normal capitation spending in this country. And those young people so valued their education and were so determined to achieve so much for themselves and their families, and talked to me about their hopes for a world of peace and justice, and their hopes of their families being able to return to Palestine. I was inspired by them, these young people that had known no life other than a refugee camp. Those are the people that we should be speaking for and supporting. But commemorating those that have lost their lives because they are Palestinians. Those that have been gunned down on the streets. Those that have died from the bombardment of Gaza. Mustafa Barghouti sent me a film last night whilst I was at the Nakba commemoration at Westminster Central Hall. And it was yet another bombing taking place by Israeli jets in Gaza. And then I also think of the brave journalists who have tried to report what happens to the Palestinian people. And we commemorate all of those that have suffered and died because they tried to tell the truth. And we particularly remember today Shireen Abu Akleh, who laid down her life. And I asked a Palestinian friend, said, what does Shireen mean to you? And he said, every day we woke up in the West Bank or in Gaza, we'd turn on to Al Jazeera, and there was a voice there that we could trust, who was telling us what was happening to the Palestinian people. That is why Shireen was killed. Let's remember her and redouble our efforts for peace and justice for the Palestinian people. Over 100 have died already this year. Bombardments are taking place, and the growth of the settlements, the loss of agricultural land, the loss of opportunity, and the loss of hope for so many young people on the West Bank is abominable and appalling. And so this is a day of sadness and commemoration, but let's also make it a day of hope and determination. Hope and determination. Determination to oppose the British government's attempts with its anti-BDS bill to prevent effective protest against the Israeli occupation of Palestine, against the growth of those settlements, and against the export of arms to Israel, which are then used to destroy Palestinian people and their lives. But it's also an opportunity to recognize the strength of the movement around the world in support of Palestinian people. All those Palestinian flags that were flown during the World Cup meant something to a global audience. All those demonstrations around the world meant something to a global audience. And the bravery and solidarity of so many people that have done their best to stop arms sales, that have attempted legal action on behalf of the Palestinian people, including exposing the illegal nature of the occupation and of the imprisonment of children in Israeli jails, the breach of the Fourth Geneva Convention. And so it is about justice and human rights. And thank you to all those all around the world that have stood in solidarity with the Palestinian people, including very brave people in Israel that have also exposed the human rights abuses and do not want to live in a country that occupies another, and instead have shown their solidarity with the people of Palestine. It is that solidarity that brings about hope. And in a political world that's dominated by cynicism, by unrelenting personal attacks on those that speak out for peace and truth and justice around the world, there is also the solidarity of hope, the solidarity of those campaigning against injustice and poverty in this country, and those who are in solidarity with those trying to bring peace to the war zones all around the world. We're here today to support the Palestinian people, whose indomitable spirit is an inspiration to millions around the world, who will not brook continued occupation. We're here to demand full, immediate and unconditional recognition of Palestine. We're here to support the right of return of Palestinian people. We're here in that solidarity and respect for the people of Palestine. By being here today, you've borne witness to that determination. We're going to be here again and again and again. And for those that think we're going to go away, dream on and think on. We will never give up on the rights of the Palestinian people to live in peace in their own land. Thank you very much, and thank you all again for being here today. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Thank you very much.